Hey there, how's it going? If you're new to motorcycling, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but the gatekeepers, fact checkers, and Harley boomers have you a little nervous to ask. Don't worry, that is what we're here for. I'm gonna help clear up some of the most important motorcycle vocabulary you need to know in order to not look like a dingus scooter lifer when you take your Rebel 300 to your first bike night. I wouldn't want you to figuratively high-side your evening because you don't know the correct lingo to keep the conversation shiny side up. You know what I'm saying? No intro needed today, let's get into it, but first I want to thank the sponsor of today's videos, Flying Eyes. I will talk more about them later in the video. Make sure to click the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the new lessons and videos we have coming out every day. Yes, every single day we make motorcycle content. Okay, let's get started on our vocab lesson in alphabetical order, of course. ABS, that is anti-lock braking system. ABS is one of the biggest selling points on more premium add-ons on motorcycles for bikes that don't need ABS, like a Ninja 400, but on a big, powerful motorcycle, ABS can prevent you from being turned into a human pate on the tarmac. ADV bike. ADV stands for a dad vigorously trying to be young again. Air-cooled. What these engines lack in modern cooling technology, they make up for in character and melted boots. You can tell Harley-Davidson is from Wisconsin and not Texas, or they wouldn't have waited 100 years to develop a liquid-cooled engine. Apex, the center point of your turn where you'll be the closest to the inside of the track or road for street squids before decreasing lean angle and accelerating out of your turn. It is the moment where you unclench your butt because you survived another turn where you misjudged your entry speed. ATGATT. All the gear, all the time. It's an acronym. The mantra for motorcyclists on the internet who throw a hissy fit anytime they see someone riding a motorcycle in a t-shirt as if they are your life insurance provider and not a total stranger who you've never met. Bagger. The pride and joy of alcoholic stepfathers and affluent dentists alike. A bagger is 850 pounds of patriotism, chrome, and toxic masculinity. They have enough torque to melt OEM Harley-Davidson Dunlops while still being slow enough to be gapped by a Ninja 650. Weird. Boxer engine, the engine of choice for Subaru vape lords and BMW simps alike. The pistons in a boxer engine fire in opposing cylinders. For BMW GS riders, that means you get to spend even more money on engine guards, or else you'll have a tree stump thumb your engine's soft spot when you try to prove the stereotype wrong and actually take that bike off-road. BMW, yes, they make motorcycles too. They don't come with turn signals either. Cafe Racer, the most indirect or labor-intensive way to make a slow old bike slightly less slow. The Cafe Racer is the bike of choice for flannel-clad hipsters who paid a mechanic to finish their project after a broken bolt send them running straight to the therapist to talk about their feelings. Carburetor, the enemy of the first ride after winter storage, but hey, they're easier to work on than EFI, according to boomers who still have a Hotmail email address. Chopper, a custom style of motorcycle that's meant to be gawked at by people who have no taste while they are ridden by people with no intelligence. Clip-ons, the handlebar of choice for riders who want to develop midlife scoliosis. These clip directly to your fork so you can rest your beer belly nice and comfortably on the gas tank while you ride. Cosplay, not a motorcycle term per se, but we seem to use it a lot on the channel. Cosplay is when a Harley rider dresses like a pirate and a Japanese motorcycle company makes a chromed out V-twin cruiser. Countersteering, want to go right? Move your handlebars to the left. Not kidding, it's physics, baby. Cruiser, a motorcycle that is slow enough that Harley pirates can ride them drunk without a helmet. Displacement, the volume of the cylinders in your engine. More cubes, more boom, more zoom, or just more noise if it's a Harley. Dual Sport, the motorcycle for riders who like to swing both ways. They're adequate both on the street and the dirt while not being particularly great at either. ERGOS, it's how it feels to sit on a motorcycle, short for ergonomics. Laid back on a cruiser like a Harley rider passed out drunk on his lazy boy, or on a sport bike with your hands out and your ass up like you're giving birth doggy style. An exhaust. Do I really have to explain this one to you? An exhaust functions to both expel combustion gases from the engine and also show your neighbors and innocent bystanders how good your bike sounds at Redline. A fairing. It's the plastic outfit worn by a motorcycle to show how race-capable and aerodynamic it is, like what you'd find on a Gixxer 250 or CBR 300R. Flickable. How easy it is for a motorcycle to lean over on its side. It has nothing to do with masturbation. Flying Eyes, a great eyewear company for motorsports enthusiasts and the sponsor of today's video. Flying Eyes specializes in flexible, form-fitting glasses that fit comfortably inside your motorcycle helmet. Their frames are made out of Resilamide, literal aircraft technology that makes them thin and flexible while being nearly unbreakable. Plus, their lenses are scratch and impact resistance and offer 100% UV protection. They come in a bunch of different styles so you can find a pair that matches your sick ride. Follow the link below to check out all the different options and be sure to use the code YAMMYNOOB for 10% off your order. Thanks Flying Eyes for sponsoring today's video. Again, use the code YAMMYNOOB for 10% off your order and click the link down below. Fuel injection. What was once considered to be merely folklore by Harley-Davidson until 2007, fuel injection is groundbreaking technology that uses a computer to inject fuel into an engine instead of using a Rubik's Cube Hellraiser puzzle box of springs, jets, and floats. GSXR, pronounced and often spelled phonetically as Gixxer, the Suzuki GSXR is the pride and joy of the manager of the local Pizza Hut, a motorcycle he bought himself as a reward for finally getting his GED. Catch the Gixxer Squid in cargo shorts going 186 miles per hour on his way to meet his probation officer. High side. This occurs when a motorcycle that is slid out regains traction and bucks you right off. Just like the time you rode the mechanical bull after drinking one too many Irish car bombs and had to go to the free clinic to have your arm popped back in the socket. Hayabusa, the best 1300cc beginner bike option. If you ever get bored with the power after a month or two, slap a turbo on it and begin to see kanji every time you close your eyes. Horsepower, the pot of gold at the end of the spec sheet. It's the only numerical value that spec sheet warriors will write Ted K style manifestos to defend while personally only riding an SV650 because it is the best bang for buck. Lane splitting, both the safest and most reckless thing you can do on a motorcycle depending on who you ask. If the space is there and I'm 10% the size and 5 times as fast as a Karen in a Chrysler Pacifica, who says it's not my right to move ahead? Local law enforcement? Sure, good luck with that. A line. This one is for off-road riders and racers alike when defending their shortcomings. I don't know, man, that rock in the trail really threw off my line, or oh, my lap time is 10 seconds lower than normal because I hit the apex too late in my line, not because I was busy thinking about that time I called my 4th grade teacher mom. Lowside. You had to lay her down, brother. Master cylinder. When the brake lever is squeezed, the master cylinder creates hydraulic pressure to move brake fluid through the brake line. It gags the slave cylinder and spanks it with a leather whip. A motorcycle club. It's a fraternity without the potential job opportunities. A naked bike, a revolutionary, unfair motorcycle design for when a rider finally admits that they are never going to ride on track and wants to be able to ride their bike for more than 20 minutes at a time. See also ERGOS. A nooner, often preceded by dank. A nooner is a wheelie, but not any old wheelie. A nooner has to be a 12 o'clock wheelie where you're chilling at the balance point. You can practice dank nooners in the same discreet parking lot where you drink and have sex on your lunch break. A pillion. This is the small rear passenger seat pad thing on the back of your bike that you immediately took off so your girlfriend wouldn't know she's able to ride on the back of the bike with you. Quick shifter. This makes a super sport motorcycle shift like a clutchless pit bike. It's not because it's easier, it's because it's faster, says the guy who only rides his S1000RR on the weekends to and from the country club. The rake. This is the angle of the forks on a motorcycle. A chopper has a super long rake and a custom cafe racer has a really short rake. Both impede the handling of a motorcycle because you are not smarter than the engineer that designed your bike. RPM. That's revolutions of an engine's crankshaft per minute. Redline, where a 600 rider thinks they have to keep their engine at to prevent it from blowing up, just like Jason Statham in that movie Crash. Scrambler, a cafe racer with knobby tires for hipsters who thought a dual sport wouldn't match their Levi's and Carhartt. They're a road bike with enough modifications to convince you that you might take it off-road one day, even though you probably never will. Sport touring, motorcycles for aging fast boys who talked way too much about cruisers in their first 10 years of riding, and now they've pigeonholed themselves into having a chunky sport bike with saddlebags, arguably a fate worse than riding a proper bagger. Sport bike, a fully fared motorcycle with high-performance components designed for use on a racetrack or committing traffic violations on public roads. They are the foundation of all the lies you tell your friends about how many times you've gone 180 miles per hour, how many wheelies you've done, how many girls have commented on your R6. Spoiler alert, the answer is 0 for all 3 of those past questions. Squid, a reckless, underskilled, overconfident jabroni in cargo shorts and flip-flops on a Gixxer 1000. Every riding group has at least one squid, and if you're thinking, hey, mine doesn't, then buddy, you're the squid. Take it easy on the throttle there and maybe get right with your God before the Grim Reaper decides to cut your next joyride short. A stretched swing arm. The original wheelie control. Why learn how to use the throttle and the rear brake when you could just give your Busa a dick pill and stretch that swing arm a few feet? You know what they say about guys with big swing arms? Damaged prefrontal cortex. Supermoto. What was originally a form of racing that combined flat track, motocross, and road racing, Supermoto is now the style of a motorcycle that is essentially a dirt bike with street wheels and tires. These bikes are hooligan machines ridden by burgeoning criminals between smashing mailboxes and shoplifting Slim Jims from the gas station. Tachometer. A tachometer measures your engine's RPMs. It's useful for noobs to know where they are at in the power band, when in reality you should just be banging it off the lever emitter in every single gear. Tank slapper. This is when someone has seriously messed up and you're about to go down hard. Your bars shake back and forth like a Harley rider the morning after bike night, and if it gets bad enough, you'll lose control of the bike and get tossed. Usually it's because of incorrect settings or worn suspension or bearings or a combination of a lot of factors. When in doubt, ride it out. Stay on the throttle. Thumper, a single-cylinder 4-stroke motorcycle engine. These engines make a kind of thump as they fire and sound. Or as the guy that wore metal militia clothes in 2005 would say, a brap. Torque, a Harley rider's best friend and saving grace. Torque is the rotational force of the pistons moving the crankshaft in an engine. The only people who really talk about it are the ones with slow bikes. Trike, a 3-wheeled mobility scooter for Harley riders after they lose a foot to diabetes. Twisties, a twisty road, the holy grail for many motorcyclists. You're always telling people, yeah, when I had my jigsaw out dragging knee on the twisties, like, I get it, bro, say twisty one more time and I'm gonna have to twist some deck screws into my eardrums. There you go, 50 motorcycle vocab words in a neat little list. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new or you had a laugh, make sure to click subscribe and that notification bell. Fact, Wyoming has only 2 escalators. Goodbye. It's probably one for every congressperson in that state. Keep watching Amy Noob!